New Hampshire is the first state to officially sign a Bitcoin reserve bill into law, and I am pumped on this news. We have been getting some bad news when it came to these state Bitcoin reserves. We saw a lot of states rejecting these bills. We recently saw Arizona reject their Bitcoin reserve bill. It passed the Senate and the House, but then the governor said, "Nuh-uh, we're not going to do it. We're going to veto it." So awesome to finally see one of these states make a smart decision, and I think that New Hampshire is really going to benefit from allocating to Bitcoin. We're going to keep this video short and sweet. Not a whole lot to talk about here, just another bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. So let's get into it. So New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte signed their Bitcoin reserve bill into law on May 6th. This bill was HB 302, and it will take effect in 60 days. So hopefully the Bitcoin price doesn't go up too much in the next 60 days so that New Hampshire could get some allocation at this sale price right here around 100K. We will see what happens. I think that Bitcoin could go up a lot in the next 60 days, but we will see. With this bill, it's going to allow New Hampshire to allocate up to 5% of their public funds into Bitcoin. Now, New Hampshire is a pretty small state. They don't have a ton of public funds, so they aren't really going to move the price a lot higher with this allocation. I couldn't get an exact number on the value of their state treasury, but from what I've seen, it looks like it's under 5 billion. So you can just think 5% of 5 billion, not a whole lot. But what's really important here is the message that this decision sends, and the fact that it's going to set the tone for other states to do the same thing. We know there's a good amount of states out there that are working on Bitcoin related legislation. We can think about a state like Texas, who has a Bitcoin reserve bill. I think it's heading to their house right now. And you think about Texas, Texas is a much larger state with much more in public funds. So they could definitely move the Bitcoin price a bit more. And if you get more of these smaller government entities, more of these states to buy into Bitcoin. When you look at, if we had 50 states all buying Bitcoin, that's going to have much more of an impact. And then you just think about how that's going to influence other government entities outside the US. So anytime we're getting a government entity adopting Bitcoin, I think it's great for Bitcoin adoption, and it will lead to a domino effect. Now, there is a small catch with this bill that actually benefits Bitcoin. This bill is going to allow New Hampshire to invest in up to 5% into Bitcoin or other digital assets. If they want to mess around with these other cryptocurrencies, I don't think they should, but they can only invest in digital assets with a market cap of over $500 billion. And right now, that's just Bitcoin. We will see if any of these other cryptocurrencies can get above a $500 billion market cap. I think most of them are worthless, but as the dollar continues to devalue, maybe it's possible. But good news for Bitcoin, it looks like that will be the only cryptocurrency that they will be investing in for now. I think this is great. I think that New Hampshire is really going to benefit. You look at how El Salvador has benefited from stacking Bitcoin. I think that any other government entity that makes that same decision is going to reap the same rewards. So great news for New Hampshire. You also think about the US federal government. We now have this federal Bitcoin reserve that Trump established a couple of months ago. And the question is, have they started to add to their stack? They said that they wouldn't use taxpayer dollars, but they would find budget neutral ways to add to the federal Bitcoin reserve. So with the Bitcoin price heading up higher above 100K, it may be time for them to start stacking before we really take off. And if they really start stacking, we know that other federal governments are going to do the same thing. So Lots of bullish stuff going on for Bitcoin. This is just another bullish catalyst, another reason to stay humble and stack sats. So I hope you're doing that. That's going to wrap it up for this one. If you didn't like and subscribe, please make sure to do that now. We are trying to get this channel pumping like Bitcoin in 2025. So really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.